Hey, what is going on, Seven Figure fam? It is Eliezer and or Mr. Seven Figure Man here, back with another video. And as you can see by the title and thumbnail, I've got a special video because this is very important. But how to pick a niche and how to do your proper niche research so you can be an expert in one thing and not a jack of all trades. All right, so let's dive right into it, and I'm excited to share all of this valuable information with you. But yeah, let's jump in. All right, so one of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make, and including myself, I had made this when I started my social media marketing business, is that we end up picking so many different businesses to work with, right? Because we figured like, hey, if I reach out to 10 different types of industries, my chances of getting a client are higher, right? And that's what we think. That's what I was thinking, at least. And maybe you're in the same boat, but how do you come up with the niche that you want to work with? Like who do you decide? Because it's a big commitment, right? You start your social media marketing, you got to figure out who you're going to work with and stick with for the next few months, next few years, right? So how do you choose this wisely? So when picking a niche, there's a few different factors that can play into this. So what I've learned from some of the programs that I've taken was at first that just try different niches, see which one works best, and see which one you like. Which that's a great method, but the one that I decided to stick with, and this is the one that actually helped me just be an expert in that one area, was if you level it down to, let's say, your first 6 months, if you're not too sure, because this is what's called the rookie time, right? You're a rookie, you're brand new, so there's some more flexibility for you in those 6 months, right? And what you want to do here is take in those 6 months, pick around, let's say, if you're not sure, once again, of who you want to work with, pick about 2 or 3 niches that you are more curious about, niches that you can see yourself working with, that you want to know more about, and that you can just see someone in them that you can potentially work with for the next 2 years or so, or longer than that, of course. But that's one way to do it. The other way of picking a niche is just by picking whatever it is that, once again, it goes to curiosity, who you're more curious about, or what you're passionate about. So for me, I'm more passionate about fitness, helping people, people bettering their health mentally and physically. And for me, that is my passion. So who would I work with, right? Who would I go for? Well, for me, it would be personal trainers and gyms. But for other people, it's cars. Maybe they like building cars, they like modeling cars. You would go for people that work on cars. If you are someone that you want to be a dentist, or you got braces like myself too, you want to know more about that space, go for dentist. If you're someone that suffered a very bad accident, or a very bad injury in a car accident, and you had to get some very great chiropractic work for over a year, and that became your passion because a chiropractor took you from a bad position to now being up and running, then you would probably want to work with chiropractors, right? So the next thing would just be work with people that you are passionate about. It's so important, because if you love what you do and you already know more about the business model that you're doing or that you're working in, it's going to be that much easier to speak the prospect's language. Because at the end of the day, when you get on the meeting with them, what's going to differentiate you from other people that aren't an expert is that you are going to be able to speak the same language, and you are going to know when you guys have so many things in common, or when you know what you're talking about. It's kind of like sports. Like whenever I run into someone that knows about basketball, it's like we end up building a great rapport, because it's not too common that I run into people that speak the same language. And the reason why picking a niche is so important is because you can be one of two people. All right, you can either be the expert, the person that knows exactly what they're talking about. They are an expert in only one area and they are the best at it, and there's no one better. Or you can be the what's known as the jack of all trades. The jack of all trades, this is someone that might be good here and there at many different little things, but they're not completely great or the complete best at any of them. They're not an expert in any of them, right? They only have so much information about all these different small things, and that's not the one you want to work with. Because me personally, when I hire people for my team, I don't look for someone that's good at so many different things. That's good, but I'm looking for someone that is just an expert in that one thing that I'm looking for. Because if I ask for someone that's doing email marketing, and they tell me, yeah, I do email marketing, and I also do this, and I do that, and I do that, and blah blah blah, it gets my interest to go down a little bit, or not even a little bit, by a lot, basically, right? So you want to find someone, and you want to be someone that is an expert in that area, and you want to be that expert, right? Don't be the jack of all trades, just be the expert. Once again, pick a niche that you are going to be passionate about. Pick a niche that you can see yourself working with, or you're curious about. Because at the end of the day, there's someone that you're going to put a lot of time and energy into. And if you don't like what you're doing, it's not going to work out too well. You're either going to be unhappy, or you're not going to get results for your clients. All right. So now that you figured out the niche thing, right? Figured out that, okay, I'm going to spend the next few months experimenting with 2 to 3 different niches, see who I like, who I don't like. Or you just pick a niche right off the bat because you want to be a personal trainer yourself, or you want to own a gym and you decide to go with that niche. Now, once you have that out of the way, you want to be an expert by doing your niche research. And this is something that I've taken programs, and the majority of the programs that I've taken don't talk about niche research. How to properly get the right information on the industry that you're working in, how to be prepared for the questions that they're going to ask you, and how to frame yourself as an expert from the call, from the beginning. Before you can get clients or provide any sort of results for them, you need to understand the core of their business model. And for this, I recommend something super simple, and it's so simple that you can do it right now, is just do your research on Google and YouTube. So an example would be, let's say you want to work with gyms or real estate agents or personal trainers. You would search up something like along the lines of how to open a gym, or how to become a real estate agent, or how to become a certified personal trainer. You would look up these things on YouTube and Google, and if you do that, you can find so many different articles, so many different people that post their facts and what they know and their information, and you can get a great idea. Because once again, at the end of the day, you want to be able to speak the same language as the prospect, so when you're on the phone call, you guys can relate to a different level than all these other marketers would with this person on the phone. And doing this, you also want to dig very deep. You want to dig a lot deeper and find out as much as you can about the business model. So for example, you want to find out the pain points of this business. So if it's a personal trainer, one of their biggest pain points is that if it's an online personal trainer, it's that they aren't getting enough clients. And that's mostly the pain point for a lot of these businesses. But if it's a personal trainer that works at an actual gym in a physical place, one of their problems, or their main problems, are that they don't have enough time, they don't have enough freedom, and they just can't squeeze so many clients in because all their time is being taken up by training people in the gym, right? So I know those sort of pain points because I did my niche research. But when you can find out those pain points, the things that hurt them from the beginning, you can bring those up in the conversation and say, hey, well, some of my clients or some of the prospects that I've talked to, they mentioned that some of their pain points are that they just don't have enough leads coming in. Is that sort of the same issue with you? And they would say, oh, wow, yeah, that's exactly my problem. Right? So now once again, you're speaking their language, you can relate to them on a different level, and you filled in what was in their head from the beginning, which that's going to make you come off as more of an expert because they're going to think, wow, this person actually works with real estate agents, etc. All right. So step number 2 is you want to get some benchmarks. You want to understand how much your prospect makes, what's their revenue, what are their profit margins, and how many monthly expenses they have, right? What are they spending their money on? What stuff can get cut out, right? Because I guarantee you they're spending so much money on stuff that is unnecessary. And if they're debating whether they should pay you for marketing and bring them in more customers and change their life over, let's say, getting an expensive coffee machine or getting an expensive hot tub, you need to be able to, weigh out the pros and cons for each one. And the way you do that is, like I said, getting some benchmarks, getting an understanding of where they're at, where they want to go, how much they're spending, how's the revenue looking, how are the profit margins, and doing that. Once again, you're going to be an expert in that field. And the way you can do this is just by, once again, Googling. All right. And step number 3 is getting the marketing specific tactics. And what this is basically, let's say you do Facebook ads, you do search engine optimization, SEO, or content creation. What you want to do is just look up how to provide results for that sort of offer or service for your client. So an example, Facebook ads, okay? Facebook ads, super simple. If you look up on YouTube right now, how to make Facebook ads in 2019, there's hundreds of videos, hundreds and thousands of videos on people showing you how to make Facebook ads, right? So how do you become an expert in Facebook ads? I mean, one way is just look up a bunch of information, or the other way is just actually doing it. That's the best way, is just actually doing it. But to have a general idea of what it is that you do in regard to the marketing, just look it up. Get a good idea from people showing you how to create the Facebook ad from the beginning, what type of audience to target, what type of demographics, all of this stuff. And you can just do that by simply using YouTube. It's super simple. The other example is, and I talked about this in a few videos ago, but, finding, let's say, how to make a case study for a dentist, or how to make a case study for a real estate agent. Right? If you look up real estate agent case study on YouTube, I'm sure you can find other stuff. If you look up how to create a case study, you'll probably run into my video. And it's that easy to get free information on there, just so you can, like, once again, have a general idea of how to do the marketing specific tactics, so you can understand not only how to deliver results for your clients, but you can actually build a case study, or you can build a funnel, just using YouTube, using your free resources. Because this is what people don't use, is that they think that everything is just paid. No, you can find a lot of stuff for free. Of course, it's going to be harder, it's going to take more time, but you can do it if you want to devote your time to it. And adding to that, you want to find out, right? So like, let's say you want to do Facebook ads for personal trainers. You want to look on Google best Facebook ads for personal trainers, right? So then you can get an idea of the ad copy, how they converted, and what sort of offer they gave. And then you can probably do the same exact thing for your personal trainer client, right? So if they ran a trial that was, hey, here's the offer. It's going to be a 1 week free training with a personal trainer, right? And that's a long time, but 1 week free training with a personal trainer, and that ad converted very well. You saw the numbers, you saw the metrics, and you saw that it worked great. Then just mimic that exact thing and just use it for your client. And that is how you can present yourself in the meeting too. It's like, hey, one of my colleagues or one of my associates, they did this for their client. This is how well it worked. I want to do the same exact thing for you because it is proven to work. It's really that simple. It's not, just don't overthink it. Don't think that you can only get this information behind the scenes, because you can also get it, like I said, on YouTube and Google. And overall, the last thing that you want to do when it comes to picking a niche is just, once again, become an expert. Become the one that knows the most in that industry out of everyone else. Because if you do this, if you can speak the same language as your prospect, and you can have an answer to every question that they have, and you can build this sort of expertise in you that you never knew you had in the industry, not only are you going to be able to attract more people to you, but once they are attracted to you and you get on the phone call, you're going to be able to close them that much easier. So make sure that you niche down, you pick one niche that you stick with, you run with, you become the best at, and then do your niche research, right? Look up on YouTube, look up on Google, all of this free information, or go through courses, go through Facebook ad examples, pick all of this stuff out, and then just provide the results for your clients from there. But really, don't overthink it, don't overdo it. Just find this stuff on YouTube, Google. Once again, I have to keep overemphasizing that. And just run with what you have, because what you have is plenty. But besides that, I hope this helped you out. Let me know if you have any questions down below. And besides that, this has been Mr. Seven Figure Man, and I'll see you in the next one.